Hello, YouTube. Well, we're going to be covering another type of horror movie today, and that is zombies. So we're going to be doing talking about some zombie movies today. So we're going to hit all kinds. We're going to hit from Night of the Living Dead and on up, and maybe even a few before that. Before zombies became brain eaters. So, right after this little brief intermission, and then we'll be back, and then we'll get right into the zombies. Good day, everyone. Well, this time we're going to be talking about zombie movies, and there are a ton of different zombie movies that we can all discuss. I'll just start rattling off some names. That way we can start in. So the first one we're going to talk about is Night of the Living Dead, and that is the original 1968 George A. Romero black and white Night of the Living Dead. If memory serves me correctly, I think that one is the very first zombie movie to introduce them eating human flesh. To really show it. Especially in the part where the truck blows up and they're over there eating their crispy fried people. So, Night of the Living Dead. The next movie we're going to talk about is basically the sequel to Night of the Living Dead, and that is Dawn of the Dead, which I remember when it came out at theaters. This is one of them that really involved a lot of gore. I mean, like we see them split open, guts and, eat them or whatever. It was really gory. So George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. That one basically takes place in a shopping mall, and it does have a lot of gore, but it is a really good, zombie movie. So I recommend that everybody, I'm not going to go through all the George Romero's. I'll just go through the first three, and then we'll move on to something other than George Romero. So, all right. So that was Dawn of the Dead. Is the George Romero? This is the last George Romero film we're going to cover, and that is Day of the Dead. And this one pretty much takes place in a military installation. It's pretty good. It's not quite as good as Dawn of the Dead, but it is pretty good. They have this, they always call him Dr. Frankenstein in this one, and he's trying to rehabilitate a zombie. Well, you know how that will turn out. So anyway, that one is Day of the Dead. Well, we didn't kind of touch, we went over the Resident Evil, Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead in a previous video. So we're not going to really spend a lot of time with this, but they did have some movies that were basically comedy / horror, and Return of the Living Dead fell under that, and so did Chud 2, Bud the Chud. That kind of falls under that category. And there was a movie called Dead Heat, and I can't remember the people who were in that one, but that also was basically a comedy / horror with zombies. And Dead Heat actually had Vincent Price and Darren McGavin in it. They guest starred in it. So, but yeah, those were like the comedy / horror zombie movies. So, if you want something that kind of makes you laugh, and Not really so much, scares. And then there's also Fido, which was a British, was it Fido? Or Shaun of the Dead. That's one thing of Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead was kind of like a British slash comedy, a British horror slash comedy, about the zombie apocalypse. And of course there's Zombieland, with, kind of comedy horror type thing for zombies. Then there was one called Fido, where people actually had a zombie for a pet. So, they got some comedy horror. And then, of course, the one that I absolutely love, it's called Dead Alive, and it's a British movie. Another British one, which a lot of them are really good. But this one's called Dead Alive, and when it came out, they labeled it as, funny as they would put it, funny as hell, gory as hell. And at the time, they said that it was the goriest movie ever made. So, and maybe it still stands, I don't know. There's some, ones that kind of come up close, close to that, but there is a lot of gore in that one. And there's a lot of laughs too. So there's some comedy horror zombie movies for you to, kind of want to check into. Another video game slash movie franchise is House of the Dead. Now, I have never played House of the Dead video game, but I saw the movie. And they had two of them. The second one was okay, but the first one was really good. I don't know. They actually had, were like little segments of the game during it. I guess that's what it was. Like little things, like between things that were happening, they'd have like a little scene, and it looked like you were playing the game. Now, the first House of the Dead was really good. Second one, like I said, so-so. So, it doesn't really, like, it's not your typical up-to-date modern zombie movie. It doesn't have a lot, it's rated R. It's got a lot of, it does have some gore or whatever, but it's more like you're playing a video game, which is quite interesting. But yeah, House of the Dead. So there's another one you can check out. Now the next zombie movie is a movie called Hell of the Living Dead. And it basically kind of reminds you a lot of, maybe the movie Zombie, or, or something like that. The acting isn't great. A lot of zombie gore in this one too. They really seem to aim for the gore a lot in the zombie movies. So, but like I said, the acting, it's not the greatest, but it's still a very entertaining film. If you want to watch a good gory zombie flick, watch Hell of the Living Dead. That is a pretty good one. So, there you go. There's that one. Now we're going to do a movie that technically it is a zombie movie, but it's not like a gory zombie. This one came out a long time ago. It was black and white, but it still has a creep factor to it. And yes, it does have zombies, but they don't eat brains. They just pick you up and snap your back. This was like, long before gore or anything ever started happening in the zombie movies. And it's called Creature with the Atom Brain. And this mad scientist would take dead bodies, and he would, he would reanimate them, bring them back, and they, would go after people or whatever. He'd have them go after people. But it is a good movie. Like I said, it's not your typical, gouge out your eye and rip open your guts movie. But if you want something that maybe you can let your older kids watch that aren't quite ready for the gore stuff, I'd recommend Creature with the Atom Brain. So, there you go. Now the next movie we're going to talk about is, I'm only going to talk about one. I know I think they made like about 8 movies or so, or 9 or 10. I don't know. I lost count. But to me, it's only the first one is the good one, and that's Resident Evil. You know, a lot of it does remind you of the original Resident Evil video game. So maybe we'll touch on the video game a little bit on this segment. But the movie basically does pretty much follow the game. So if you've ever played the original Resident Evil, now that game used to give me the creeps. You know, it had the zombies, of course, and sometimes they would be right around the corner and you wouldn't know it, and they'd, you know. But the hunters, I mean, those hunters, I don't really know how to explain the hunters except maybe kind of frogs on steroids or something. But the game is awesome. Now they have a remastered version of it here on the PlayStation, on the PlayStation Network. I own it. And it's good. The graphics are better, but the acting, they got different voiceovers. Now the original Resident Evil for PlayStation 1, the graphics may not have been as good, but the acting, it was so B-movie acting. And I really enjoyed. If they would have taken the newer graphics and put over the original voiceover, that would have made it the perfect game. So this segment was Resident Evil, the game and the movie. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about the other movies because they are not that good, in my opinion. They're kind of strayed way off the zombies, and the dogs, like the dogs in Resident Evil. Especially in the game, you'd be walking along and all of a sudden, smash, they'd come, jumping through the window and stuff. So there's Resident Evil, the game and the movie. So the next one that we're going to talk about is a movie called Zombie. They've got several movies, but this one, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. He's an Italian, Lucia something. I can't remember exactly how to pronounce it, but it's called Zombie, and it takes place on a tropical island. Well, it actually starts out where it has a sailboat, a boat that comes in, and the 2 officers go aboard to investigate, and obviously that's where the zombies are there, So, but it basically takes place on a tropical island. Now, on their way there to the island, there is something I thought I would never see, and that is a zombie fighting a shark. Yep, you heard me right. A zombie fighting a shark. So if you really want to see that, that is a really cool scene. Actually, that and the eyeball scene, I hope you have a strong stomach. The eyeball scene. That is one of the most excruciating scenes because it just hurts. I can't believe they did that. So anyway, Zombie. I think it was 1978 for that one. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think so. But that is a must-see movie. The next movie that we're going to talk about is City of the Living Dead. It's another one of those, and it's also known as, actually it has a couple of titles. City of the Living Dead, that's the version that I own. Then they also got another one called, basically the same thing, and it's called The Gates of Hell. So, whichever way you can find it, it's the same movie, but it just has 2 different titles for some reason. So, it's actually, it is very gory, but there are a lot of creep factors in that movie. It is very You know, there's a lot of parts that are really kind of creepy. And of course, like most of them, most of these movies, the acting isn't, you know, like Academy Award winning, but it's, you know, it's definitely A-okay. But City of the Living Dead, Gates of Hell, whichever way you can find it. I think basically now it's called City of the Living Dead. But that is a definite must-see. If you want gore and creep factor, that's the one to, you know, that'll get you. It'll make you think twice when you go to bed. So, there we go. City of the Living Dead. Okay, there is one more zombie movie that, if you have a chance to watch it, it's really good. It's kind of hard to find, but it is a good movie. And it's called Flight, F-L-I-G-H-T, Flight of the Living Dead. And of course they're all on a plane, and there's a zombie outbreak on a plane. And it's a really good movie. When I first saw it, I thought, I don't know, it sounds pretty stupid. But nope, I ended up loving it. And so now I have that movie. But it's really hard to find. I think you can find it on DVD, maybe still on Amazon. I'm not sure. But it's a shame because it's one of the, you know, it's a really good zombie movie for an updated zombie movie. It's really good. So, if you can at all find, now I will tell you where you can find it. You won't be able to buy it, but you can watch it if you want. If you type it in on YouTube, Flight of the Living Dead movie, you can actually find that on YouTube to watch. So, just FYI. So, there you go. Flight of the Living Dead. It'll make you think twice about taking United again. No, I'm kidding. So, there you have it. Just some of the better zombie movies in my opinion. Hopefully I hit them all. Now there's a lot more out there, of course, you know, like The Walking Dead and stuff like that, but I just wanted to rattle off some good movies to watch. You know, all different kinds of zombie movies. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next video. Alright everybody, if you did like the contents of this video, or like some of the other content on my YouTube page, please remember to leave a comment down below. Please keep it respectful. I hate to have YouTube, you know, see YouTube block you. Sometimes they do stuff like that, which is kind of nice, because I try to keep my page as family friendly as possible. And stuff I have on here that's not family friendly, then of course I'll let them know. But so please, you know, leave a comment below. And if you like this video, then remember to hit that like button so you can show that you liked it. And then, if you like what you see on my page, then subscribe to my YouTube page. All subscriptions are appreciated. And I'm just trying to build up my little YouTube page, so all subscriptions are appreciated. And then remember to share my video if you think it's worth sharing, which I hope you do. But remember to share my video. Share it on Facebook, whatever social media app you so choose. That way the word will get out and maybe more people will see it. And then, for the very last thing, there's a little notification bell over there on the right. Bash that notification bell, so that way whenever I go to upload YouTube videos, YouTube will be informed. And you'll say, okay, well, he's uploaded another video. Let's go see what it's all about. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and bash that little notification bell. Alright everybody, have a great day.